Welcome to my channel. All right, imagine this for a second. You wake up, check your phone, and boom! Subaru just pulled the covers off the 2026 Outback. And not just a mild refresh. This feels like one of those turning point moments. The kind where you stop and ask, wait, is this still an SUV? Or is Subaru quietly reinventing the whole idea of what the Outback is supposed to be? So let's talk about it, because the 2026 Subaru Outback just stepped into a whole new era, and honestly, I didn't see it coming like this. First impressions, this thing looks different, like really different. The Outback has always been rugged in a sensible, hiking boots kind of way. The 2026 model, it's got a little Italian flair mixed into that trail-ready DNA. The lines are cleaner, more sculpted, and there's this confident stance that makes it look lower, wider, and more planted without losing that unmistakable Outback identity. The front end is sharper, the headlights are slimmer, and the grille feels more refined instead of chunky. It's still tough, but now it looks like it knows it. From the side, the proportions are what really sell the evolution. It feels less boxy, more athletic, almost like Subaru said, what if an Outback and a European touring wagon had a very adventurous child? The wheel arches are still there, the cladding is still there, but it's more intentional now. Less plastic for the sake of it, more design-driven ruggedness. And around the back, the taillights stretch wider, giving it a planted, modern look that makes the previous generation feel a little safe. Now here's where things get really interesting. Powertrain. Because yes, the 2026 Subaru Outback is finally leaning hard into hybrid territory. And no, this isn't Subaru dipping a toe in the water anymore. This feels like a full commitment. The new hybrid setup is designed to be smoother, quieter, and more efficient, but still very much Subaru at heart. You're not losing that all-wheel drive confidence, and you're definitely not losing the ability to go places most crossovers wouldn't even attempt. What's cool is how seamless it's supposed to feel. You're not thinking about when the engine kicks in or when the electric side takes over, you just drive. Around town, it's calm and efficient. On the highway, it settles into a relaxed cruise. And when the road ends, that's when the Outback reminds you why it's always been different from the rest of the segment. Because yes, this thing is still built for adventure. Subaru didn't forget that part. The 2026 Outback keeps its legendary off-road capability, and in some ways, it actually steps it up. Ground clearance still generous, the approach and departure angles are improved, and the latest version of Subaru's off-road drive modes makes tackling snow, mud, gravel, or rocky trails feel almost unfairly easy. This is still the car you'd trust to get you to a remote campsite at sunrise and back home without drama. And I love that Subaru didn't turn the Outback into some soft, city-only crossover just because it's more stylish now. Roof rails are still functional, not just decorative. The underbody protection is legit, and the suspension tuning strikes that sweet spot between comfort and control. It's the kind of car that doesn't care if your weekend plans change last minute from brunch to backcountry. Step inside, though, and wow, this is where the biggest leap might be. The interior of the 2026 Outback feels like Subaru finally decided to spoil us a little. The materials are nicer across the board, soft-touch surfaces, better stitching, and a design that feels calmer and more premium without trying too hard. It still feels practical, but now it feels special too. The infotainment screen is larger, faster, and thankfully more intuitive. No more fighting menus just to change basic settings. Everything flows better, and the digital displays are clear without being overwhelming. Subaru also cleaned up the center console, added smarter storage solutions, and made the whole cabin feel more open and airy. Long road trips? This thing is absolutely built for them. Seats are more supportive, especially for longer drives, and there's a noticeable improvement in cabin quietness. Wind noise is reduced, road noise is toned down, and combined with the hybrid system, the Outback just feels more relaxed than ever before. It's the kind of interior that makes you want to keep driving even when you've already arrived. Now let's talk about how this compares to the Outbacks of the past, because that's where the goodbye SUVs question really comes into play.
The Outback has always lived in this weird, wonderful space between wagon and SUV, but the 2026 model leans harder into that original wagon spirit, lower, sleeker, more road-focused, while somehow becoming even more capable off-road. It's like Subaru went back to the Outback's roots, then fast-forwarded them into the future. Compared to the outgoing model, this one feels more confident, more refined, and more intentional. It's less about checking boxes and more about delivering a cohesive experience. You're not just buying ground clearance or all-wheel drive anymore. You're buying a lifestyle car that actually lives up to the marketing.